Hello everybody and welcome back to our weekly Rise Up Animal Road discussion. Today we are talking about episode 5, Animal Mask X Mao. But before we get into it though, I do want to remind you all that if you would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Rise Up video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Now with that said, we have what could very well be one of my favorites in the series thus far. I absolutely adored this week's episode. I shouldn't say completely, because there is one part of the episode that I was like, I wish you didn't do that, because I was so interested in the other thing. There's a point in the episode where it sort of splits off and it has two plots, and I was like, no, totally not necessary. Could have focused on the other plot. The other plot in question being that we actually get to check back in with Mao. Now, some of you may not even remember who Mao is, given that it's been 5 episodes, or rather 4 episodes, since we saw the guy. Now, Mao was the red-haired shark-tooth dude, no, not Rin, from the first episode. He's the other wrestler that Animal Mask is going up against, in what I had assumed back then to be some sort of long-standing rivalry, and yes, indeed, that is true, but it's less of a like, I win one and you win one kind of rivalry, and more of a very much one-sided uphill climb for poor Mao, as it turns out that Mao has repeatedly lost to our main man, Genzo. And honestly, that just sort of makes his need to beat Genzo a lot more entertaining. Vaguely sort of Vegeta and Goku-esque, but at least Vegeta gets some wins on Goku here and there. Mao straight up lost every match these two have ever had, but it does make his need to beat him kind of fun and entertaining. And it's, like I said, it is possibly my favorite part of the episode. Now, Mao is straight up husbando material, like 110%. I thought it was Genzo. No. It is all about Mao. Mao is my guy. This is my man right here. This man, when told to stop thinking so much about Animal Mask, he's like, you know what? Yeah, that's right. I'll pick up a hobby. And my man chose knitting. And I was like, damn. This is a straight up husbando. Straight up husbando right here. Although he does throw it away because he accidentally makes or knits Animal Mask's mask into this, I'm assuming, the scarf he was making. And if you don't know, I also attempted to become a knitter on the side. It didn't work out well because knitting is very difficult. But I was sort of like, my man knits. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to slide Mao into the husbando bracket. I gotta put my man into the husbando of the season status. I don't know if Mao could compete as like the husbando of the year, because we've had some top tier husbandos this year, but I would put Mao's name in there. I would put my man's name in there. He does have the shark tooth thing, which I admit sort of works on me. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, but the shark tooth thing, I don't know why, it kind of works for me. And Mao as sort of being depicted as the demon king of our Earth, like I was kind of all about that. Like in our world, the pro wrestlers are considered our heroes. So Mao being the antagonist to Animal Mask's protagonist, that rivalry would lean into the fact that Mao would have to be the demon king of our Earth. So he's summoned by the demon king of this Earth, this planet, the one that we're in, the isekai world. He is summoned by him to be another demon king, like to serve under him. And I thought that was really funny. And I like that he's just like, okay. he takes it a lot better than Genzo did. Genzo was not clear on what was going on. And Mao doesn't seem too clear, but he at least seems to have enough understanding that he's not freaking out and like suplexing people. He's actually like paying attention, and he's like, okay, my name is Mao, or at least like that's the name you can call me. I'm a little confused. Like you can see on his face, he's a little baffled by the situation, but it does have me intrigued. And also, I mean, like, can we just accept the fact that my man is good looking? He just is. And I love the fact that he spends the first half of the episode just wandering around. It is like it's this funny blend between being really sad and being really funny. It's like in Friends when Joey is like looking out, like it looks like Joey's looking out the window in the rain, but it's actually just like a glass that has water run. It's like an art piece. It sort of reminded me of that, where it's like it's meant to be sad, and it is kind of sad because you do feel for Mao, but it's just funny the fact that he keeps like wandering around with his sunglasses on and staring at things as sad music plays and it starts to rain. And it's purposely like overly sentimental, and I think they nailed it. Like everything with Mao in this week's episode, I thought was so funny, but it was also mixed with like genuine sentiment. Like you actually felt bad for Mao because and when you think about it, it's still funny. Like the way they depict it, it's very funny. But it also gives Mao some pathos, like it gives him some character, because without Animal Mask around, he doesn't know who he is anymore. All he wanted was his vengeance, right? That's all this dude wanted. He wanted to at least win one match against his rival. And when he thought like this was it, this is the match, when Animal Mask goes off the top rope, for all we know, he could have countered into like some kind of crazy powerbomb or something like that. He could have won the match right there. Who knows? Jumping off the turnbuckle is sort of always kind of up in the air, especially when your opponent is standing. But we don't know what could have happened anymore, and that eats at him. Like that really digs away at Mao's psyche, and it actually kind of made me feel bad for him. It kind of fleshed him out as a character while still being really funny, and I was like so blown away by that. And I was like, dang, like, and again, like, it's like he's crying listening to Animal Mask's music, and it's hilarious, but at the same time, you're like, oh, Mao. Like, unbelievable kudos for making me laugh and feel bad for this character at the same time. Now, if it sounds as though I've been singing episode 5's praises, that's true, because I really have been. Again, everything with Mao is fantastic. However, it's so great that when the show tries to go for a B plot in the episode that ends up becoming sort of kind of the A plot, it was disappointing. Because like we basically get this plot where Gang and Misha, who's the Wolfman and the Cat Girl, or Fox Girl, I don't super know what those ears are supposed to be, but anyway, they have this moment where they wait for Genzo and Shigure and everybody to leave on a mission, and they think Hiroyuki is home alone, essentially, right? And I also thought that was the case. So I was like, oh, damn, poor Hiroyuki. Like, they're going to try to kidnap my boy, my little Hiroyuki. And normally anything with Hiroyuki, I'm totally fine with, because he is, like, they purposely go out of their way to make this doggo the most adorable doggo on the planet. So anything with him, I'm usually, like, at bare minimum okay with. And unfortunately, that is what it is here. Like, it was bare minimum okay. Because even though we get some great stuff with Hiroyuki and some hilarious stuff with my main man, the ant guy, who still doesn't have a name, but I loved the ant guy is as funny as ever. Like, this character, while having almost no character, continues to be one of my favorites just by the sheer ludicrousness of the fact that he is a giant ant man, not Scott Lang, but an actual ant man. And he has like amazing drawing skills and apparently can open up a can of whoop-ass, and we still don't know anything about him. I hope they, actually, you know what, I kind of don't, because I was going to say I hope they give him an entire episode to himself, but I kind of don't, because I don't want them to like oversaturate his presence, because I feel like he works best with like these quick jabby jokes on the side. So I hope they don't give him like a full episode, but I hope they continue to give him like little moments in each episode, because he's super fun. But it took away from the Mao-ness of everything, because I was like, I just want to see my new husbando. You can't give me a 10 out of 10 husband, a 10 out of 10 animu husband, and then take him away for the rest of the episode, because like Mao is in the beginning of the episode, and then Mao is brought back towards the end of the episode, and the whole time in the middle, I'm just going like, where's my guy? Like, don't return me to Mao and then take him away from me. Like, you can't play me like that. That's not cool. Don't do that. And again, the stuff with Hiroyuki is cute, and the stuff with the Ant-Man is fantastic. However, Genzo stumbling across what are essentially mandrakes from Harry Potter, that was kind of lame. It is pretty much exactly what you think it's going to be. Genzo's not interested in these things because they're plants, instead of animals. So of course he's like, ugh, no. And then yeah, and then the rest of it is exactly what you think it is. And don't get me wrong, it's moderately funny, but it's not as funny as everything surrounding it, like the ant dude, the whole thing with Hiroyuki, where like Gang is too preoccupied by how adorable Hiroyuki is to actually kidnap Hiroyuki, and all like it's still funny, and it was kind of cool seeing Genzo like toss Gang into like a haystack, but at the same time he also says like, man, it's been a long time since I did anything like professional wrestling. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've seen you fight things for the last 4 episodes. I have no clue what you are on about. I suppose maybe some significant time has passed, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like maybe like a couple weeks. But I don't, and at the same time, like would that mean that there's been weeks in between each episode? Because I just watched you throw down with a goblin man not that long ago. I don't know. That half of the episode, like the sort of like the middle part of it, is decent, but it's not great. But all of the Mao stuff is so good, and I'm so excited to have Mao actually enter the series proper. Like, I'm really excited about that. So with that said, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and give this week's episode a very strong rank of B. This is a very good, solid episode, and brings me what could be my husbando of the season, so you know that I am happy. On that note, everybody, that just about wraps everything up. But before we go, as always, I want to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Omner Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, and Verdon. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on Patreon, and hey, if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then by all means go ahead and check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get for as little as $1 a month, and get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. But on that note, everybody, that's going to be a video, so I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't going to tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated, and if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.